Where do we start? So, at the moment of your birth, when your umbilical cord was cut, the energy patterns in the heavens up here reflected the energy patterns within you, as above, so below. And you were given this map. You should have been given it at birth. It would make your life so much easier. It shows you all your resources, all your abilities, why you are here. It shows you your tests, your challenges in this life, and how to master them. And once you master a test, you go to the next level. So at first, this is unconscious. You're not aware of it. So parts of it you project on out there. Like your sun energy, you tend to project onto dad. The moon, you project onto mum, or a source of security. And what happens is that through your interaction with people out there, you get to understand yourself. But sometimes you get caught up in the drama. And this is a way of coming back to the original plan and see what's going on in you. And once you master it, then you can deal with what's out there. Because what's out there is a projection. We project onto other people. We find them and we go, oh, you can live that out. So the moon, we tend to project onto mum. Now, we did the sun sign yesterday, and that's a sun there, and for me it's in Taurus, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. Very important, the sun sign, but there's a lot else going on there. Now we're going to look at the moon sign. The moon is the equal opposite. So let's just understand the moon. When we're little, we attach to mum for the source of security. Okay? So babies have three primal needs. They need to feel loved. They need to feel nurtured. They need to feel safe, that they belong, and to get positive attention or caring. They are all the three needs are represented in the moon energy. If these needs are not fulfilled, then the child will tend to cling to security, or they will avoid it because it's too painful. And if that continues to happen through life, they grow up either clinging to security or avoiding it, until you learn to nurture yourself. You become a mum to yourself. You're able to take care of your own needs and start building security up from within. And when you do that, then you're self-secure. There was once a lady, one night, she went down to the lake and she saw the moon reflected in the lake. She longed for the moon, so she jumped in the lake and searched for it. She went deep into the lake, and every time she came up empty-handed, until it occurred to her that she'd been looking in the wrong direction. So she did a 180 degree turn and search for the true moon, the moon within. So it's just it's not moving. Oh, there we go. So the moon is your emotional security. I'm just going to have to move people out of the way. Sorry, over there. So it's your emotional center where you care for and nurture yourself and then others. If you are not personally secure from within, then we tend to cling to and depend on others and different things in your life, or we can avoid our need to be close. So, okay, guys, what moon sign do you have?
Leo. Aries.
Hun? Leo?
Leo.
Aries.
I'm Leo.
Okay.
I'm Aries.
Aries. Okay, we do one at a time. Let's get the Aries first because we got it right here. Okay. So you imagine that emotionally, your emotional core is in Aries. Now, there's a lot of other things happening to the moon, but this is going to be very important. Now, remember, Aries is that first surge of life. So you want to get out there, do it. And so Aries can get impatient, can get angry. It needs to find that challenge to initiate, to get things going. So let's have a look. I am. So there's the sense of security would tend to come from taking action and being direct. So have you ever been in a place where you've got to be a little bit false and, you know, you can't speak your truth. You can't be direct. That would feel really uncomfortable to a Aries moon, wouldn't it?
Yes.
So when you're growing up, you'd need to have an environment where you could use that fire, that you could just get out there and do things and you could just spit things out sometimes of what you're feeling. And you could be open and direct about your feelings. So when you're seeking the moon, then insecurities can come out as anger or conflict. And also it's like Aries not seeing the other person, not seeing their perspective. But when you're in your moon, when you own your moon, you can be honest and direct with your emotions and nurture yourself. And also nurture the strength and courage within yourself and others. Does that make sense, Kaz?
It does, yes.
So there's an emotional warrior within you, isn't there?
She's in there somewhere.
Yeah. Does she feel safe enough to come out?
Yeah, I think so now.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
So it's a bit of a
while.
journey, isn't it?
Sure is, yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you can be secure enough to be direct and go for it. And good.
Yeah.
Now, Margaret, you're Leo, is that right?
Yep. Yep.
Yep, there's Leo. So we've got Leo, you've got the heart pumping the blood to the body. Now, Leo is coming from that creative core to put your stamp out there. And so it needs a lot of confidence, doesn't it, to put your mark out there?
Yep.
And you have to be secure enough to be confident enough to get out there and be in the limelight sometimes, don't you? Or take a leadership role, take charge. That could be really good with kids, couldn't it? The creativeness of Leo with the nurturing, playfulness. Does it make sense?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Yeah. So let's see what we got here. I create. So the sense of security in being confident enough to be in the limelight and create.
Mm.
Oh, so the moon wants security, but Leo wants to get out there and be recognized and everything. Do they work all right? How's that going?
Yeah, well, it's going well actually. I think it's the it's always been the confidence thing. I mean, I do put myself out there in different situations, and it what's my sort of motto? You've just got to have a go. You just got to do it. Put your best foot forward, and and sometimes, yeah, confidence builds. I think the more you practice, then yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah. So the moon, when you're seeking the moon, can be insecure about showing the creative self, or can be an emotional need to be recognized or significant. So did that sort of happen earlier?
yes, yeah.
It's like
Probably more with my siblings. I think interesting. Just my siblings. I probably
that came out. Yeah.
yeah that I would have liked a little bit of recognition, but now I'm just sort of
Yeah. Do you recognize yourself now?
I do exactly. Why was I looking for it in other people? But yes, no,
Yeah.
it does. I definitely can feel that one. Yeah.
Good one. Good one. So being the moon is able to nurture yourself and others with a playfulness and creativity, and to
Yes.
secure and leadership roles. Oh,
I like that one.
you're comfortable with being the big boss now? In a nice way, because
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
soft with the moon and Leo. You know, the sun, it can be a little bit stronger, but the moon is a bit more nurturing with the Leo energy, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's great. I love that. I love that I'm working towards that. So it's great.
Yeah.
Thank
Good
you.
one. So, Anita, where's your moon?
Well, my moon sign is Libra.
Libra. Same with Leslie. So
Ah,
let's go to Libra. Oh, there we are. So here we are, the scales, and on one side, you got the other, and you're on this side. Now, Libra sometimes wants to please the other. And if you please too much and compromise too much, is that going to give you balance? Until you learn to have a relationship with yourself and be secure in yourself, then the balance is out. And then you've got Libra wanted to see both sides of the story, want to consider the other. And sometimes it can sort of sit in the middle there, indecisive, sitting on the fence, and it needs to weigh things up and then make an emotional decision which side to go. Okay. So the emotional part of you gets a sense of security and sharing and having an exchange of ideas. Does that fit?
yep.
It's like an emotional thing. It's like, I feel comfortable when we can talk and we can be open and consider this, that, and the other. Is that right?
That is exactly right.
Yeah. So when you're seeking the moon, you can get emotionally upset if you're not liked or if there's conflict, and can try to please and live through the other.
Mhm.
So it's like an emotional dependency on the other. The other is always going to be an emotional issue, but you don't need to feel dependent. You work through that one?
Yes, I think I'm being the moon now. I've been to the seeking the moon phase for sure, but I think I'm now in being the moon.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So being the moon, you balance your own emotional nature and you can nurture others with kindness and consideration. Yeah. It's quite a nice place at the moon in Libra, isn't it?
It is lovely, yes.
Okay. Should we? So we've got other signs there. So, I'll tell you a little story first. Over the last few days, I've been feeling a bit insecure, which is not like me. Yeah. And even the other day, I said to Leslie, I said, I just feel like curling up in a fetal position and crying. And I could feel it. And I thought, what's going on there? So, of course, last night I had a look at the astrology, and you've got a map. Essentially, a map you stamp that you were born with, but then you have the planets going around. They're called transits, and they affect your map. And then I had a look at it and I went, oh, there it is. It stuck out like a sore thumb. And Saturn was a culprit. Every 2.5 years, Saturn will go through one sign or one house. And when Saturn goes through a house, it tests you. You can be sat on by Saturn, or you can master Saturn. Saturn brings up what's not working so that you can, it's almost like it denies you, blocks you until you take charge. And then once you take charge, you become the master, you become the authority in that area, so to speak. And where was it? That had just gone over what's called the IC, which is the beginning of the fourth house. And what's the fourth house about? It's about the moon. It's
Of course.
the house of the moon. So it was testing my security, my foundations, and it was shaking them. And I thought that's really good because I just, I don't normally feel shaky about things. Maybe in the past I might have, but not anymore. But here it is. I've got 2.5 years to deal with Saturn. And in that time, I'm going to be solid as a rock emotionally. I'm going to have solid but flexible, so that's like a springboard out into the world. If you've got your base together, you're really secure in your foundations, then you can spring out into the world. So that's what it's doing. So, and that's the beauty of astrology. You can see what's happening, and then you can use that energy not to control it, but sort of ride it to go where you want to go. You're riding the waves. Anyway, now, where were we? Does anybody else have the moon sign of somebody else that we haven't? Yep.
I've
No.
got two of my kids got the moon in Aquarius.
Okay.
We haven't done that one, have we? No.
That's my one. Can't do that. There we are.
Thank you.
So Aquarius, we've got the waves there, that they're not water, they're energy waves. And Aquarius is about awareness. Are all Aquarians awake? No, but that's their job, to wake up,
Yeah.
because the top one is being awake to what's going on in the world socially. And the bottom one is personal awakeness. And the water bearer is here to wake people up, to bring about a level of consciousness. So you tip water on people, it wakes them up, because there's unfairnesses, injustices, inequalities. And Aquarius is here to come up with new ideas to improve the future, to look after individual needs and nature. So it's a really good energy for the where we are in the Aquarian age. But sometimes, so Aquarius sometimes can be a little bit detached too. And I notice that sometimes with me, I can be a little bit emotionally detached, because it's almost like I've got to step back and look at things, and I don't always get it personally. But as the years have developed, I've worked on developing my moon energy more, and still having been awake and being conscious and aware. So what does the moon seek for security? To be an individual. It needs a level of freedom to be an individual, that you can go and meet and mix with people. So it wouldn't like being controlled with it, especially in a relationship. Come on, let's be awake and aware, and we can have friends and stuff like that. And Aquarian moon is really good when you're able to emotionally be conscious of what's going on in you. And then how you nurture people is through waking them up, bringing awareness. How does that fit, Margaret?
Yeah, the freedom thing, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both very different, both suns. Yeah.
Does she live it out more than him?
Sorry?
It's like they both got an Aquarian moon.
Yes.
Usually the feminine energy will live out the moon energy more than the male.
Oh, so you're saying they're wives?
No,
Are you
I'm saying
just
you've got a daughter and a son.
I've got a daughter and two sons, but the two sons have got the Aquarius moon.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yes. The
So
daughter's got the Aries moon, which we've done.
all right, we've done that one. Is she a little emotional fireball sometimes?
Oh yeah, but she's Taurus, so she's very grounded, and she solves the family problems actually.
Does she?
Yeah, she does.
She probably needs that emotional courage to do that.
Yeah.
Come on,
But
let's be honest and direct with this. Get it out there. Yeah. So the Aquarian, can you see how your two boys have been living out your Aquarian moon?
I can definitely see some detachment. I mean, one of them's only just turned 30 and the other one's 35, but the older one is sort of going through some emotional stuff. So I sort of feel maybe he's hopefully becoming more of the moon, getting more in touch with his emotional needs.
Yeah.
But the youngest son, yeah, they do a lot of, I mean, I know it's freedom in a different way, got to be free, but he does love to go camping, and they're sort of out on the land. So I do feel that helps him emotionally.
Yeah. So let's look at what sun sign is he, or one of them.
So the elder one is Scorpio.
Scorpio with Aquarian moon.
Yeah, is that a bit tricky?
Yeah, yeah, a little bit because you got such deep feelings and then you
Yeah.
need to be emotionally detached at the same time. It's like you want that intense bond, but you want to be free.
Yeah.
And it can work,
Yeah.
but they're very different energies. Both of them are fixed. So they're both very focused, and once they get on something, they tend to stay with it. Is that right?
Yes. Yes. He's very focused
Yeah.
on his work and everything. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the youngest one, 30-year-old, he's Pisces.
Ah, little Pisces.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
So,
Pisces, not me. Oh, but he's, sorry, Pisces sun sign,
all right.
but Aquarian
Aquarian.
moon. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Is he more the awake spiritual one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A sensitive nature, but wants to be awake and aware and probably, yeah. Yeah. So the will is to have that sensitivity and tune in, but also in a humanitarian way, I presume.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
Thank you. That's great. Thank you.
Any other moon signs we haven't covered yet you'd like to look at?
Hi, Michael. It's Marie here. How are you?
Oh,
I don't
hello, Marie.
video
Can hear
on that.
you, but I can't see you.
Yeah.
You're hiding away. Is that you?
I think I'm Capricorn.
Capricorn? Ah,
Taurus in sun and Capricorn in moon, I think.
a Capricorn sun and moon.
Oh, no. Sun Taurus.
Sun Taurus with a Capricorn moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Capricorn.
I think I'm Capricorn too, Michael. It's Rebecca here.
Oh, Rebecca.
That's why we are hiding.
Yeah, you sneaky people.
I'm trying to get my camera on, but it's just not
No,
happy.
it's all right. So Capricorn. So remember, it's the emotional energy in Capricorn. So it's looking for security. Now, that's a symbol here of the mountain goat, but you can have the domestic goat. So you imagine you want security, and when you're young, you get security from staying within the rules, the regulations, what's expected of you. So Capricorn moon is very, very easily conditioned. And that's fine when you're young, but then as you get older, you want to become more like the mountain goats, where you know what you want emotionally, that fulfills you, the lush grass at the top of the mountain. And you're not only, it's like secure or seeking security through self-responsibility, where you can get to that lush grass and fulfill yourself. The trouble with Capricorn moon is that sometimes what happens is that you can identify with your role, like I've got to look after people and, the role of the mother or the role of the caregiver, or you've got responsibilities and duties out there. And if you're too caught up in the expectation, the roles, you can lose your emotional connection with yourself. Does that make sense?
Not really.
Okay. So Capricorn moon, let's go another way. Wants to organize things. So wants to plan things. And So it's almost gets a sense of security in managing and organizing things. So imagine it feels uncomfortable when things are in chaos. Would that be right?
Yeah.
You might have other parts that are doing other things, but there's a core part that probably needs a certain amount of structure, that
Yeah.
commitment, responsibility to feel secure. And when you're seeking the moon, when you haven't got it together, it can be seeking the security and all the rules and regulations. If I do that, I'm going to be okay. But when you're being the moon, where you're secure in yourself, you're good at putting your own emotional needs aside to assist others and manage others. But you can also take care of your own emotional needs. Does that make sense?
I think so. A little bit.
It'd be good to look at your chart because there's something else you've got a Capricorn moon, but you've got other things happening to it that look like it might be modifying. And when you understand that, then you understand what's going on with your moon. So,
Thank you.
security, definitely when it needs a certain amount of earthness, where you're grounded, practical. Where's your sun's Taurus? So that's Earth too,
Yeah.
right? So that's a lot of Earth.
Yeah. But I'm on a cusp with Aries, so I don't know if it affects
You're in the
it.
cusp of what?
With Aries.
Aries. All right, yeah.
Yeah, but
So
I don't know.
do you feel the fire?
Not really.
Yeah.
Just when I'm angry.
Huh? Just when you're angry.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you tap into that Capricorn moon more? Start climbing up cliffs. How could you tap into that if you wanted? It's like, are you good at managing things, organizing things? And that it's like that's how you nurture people. It's like, oh, we'll organize this, get this going.
I feel like at work I'm really good, and I've always been like very good at organizing and
Yeah.
that, but in my life not too much.
Yeah. So it's more in one area. No, that's fine. So does anybody else have another moon sign they want to look at with somebody they know?
My daughter is Libra with Aries moon.
Okay. So we've done the Aries, but we'll look at it again. So she got all that emotional fire. What's that like? Being a
Well,
mum?
we're both Aries
Do
moon.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Bit tricky with boundaries, I'd imagine, when she was little.
Definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So Aries needs to learn boundaries. Sometimes they can push too far, too fast, and imagine that emotionally. As a child, it's sort of like I'm hurt and I'll get angry or I'll resist, I'll butt up against mum. Did you get a bit of that?
Yeah, she left home a few times, came back an hour later.
Yeah. Good little Aries moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. How is she now? Has she got a emotional direction for that energy and that?
I think I definitely
Right.
see more of the Libra in her, the Libra sun.
Yeah.
But the Aries is definitely still there. And she's fiery. She can be. Yeah.
Okay.
She controls it better, but it's there.
Yeah. Does anybody know somebody with a, we haven't done Taurus moon. Anybody know a Taurus moon person?
What about a Scorpio moon?
Ah, Scorpio moon. Joan, hey. Scorpio moon, that's a deep one, isn't it? Is that yours?
It is indeed.
Oh, okay. That goes to very deep places, doesn't it?
Yes, you could say that.
Yeah. So remember, Scorpio wants to merge, and the moon wants emotional security.
Mm-hmm.
But can you trust?
Yeah, that's the
Because
big issue.
you got very deep feelings, and you can get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not trusting, if you're not secure, you could hold back, withhold love. I don't want to get emotionally hurt, so I'll cut off.
Yeah, that was probably more when I was young.
Yeah, good, good. So you've matured. The other
Let's hope
one
so.
is emotionally, all my buttons are pressed and I'm totally obsessed with the other. Have you gone through that one?
Sorry, what was that one?
Totally obsessed with the other.
Yeah, well, I didn't think that anything about me back then.
So you gave away your power.
Yep, sure did.
Well done.
Oh, was I supposed to keep it? I didn't know that when I was young.
Yeah. So
Oh dear.
now it's about trusting you emotionally.
Yes.
Seeing your own feelings, when to move forward, when to hold back. And Scorpio is very psychic too, isn't it? Do you sense things? You feel it?
All my life.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
motives of people, what's behind things, what are they
Energies.
feeling and what is it about?
Yeah. Pretty much can tell intuitively what's going on, and
Yeah.
um,
It's a very deep Scorpio moon, it's very deep.
it can be scary too, in that you know them better than they know themselves.
Yeah.
And then they get a bit of a shock, that you can, I guess, read them like a book, and yeah.
The Scorpio moon's very psychological too.
Make sure you cover all the other ones, darling. The
Oh,
people that are
oh,
watching
yeah.
the replay.
We've got to cover all the other ones too. But that's good, Scorpio moon. So in your emotional moon, being the emotional moon is you have that. Oops.
Did I just do that?
No, I did that. That's all right.
Ah.
Being the emotional moon, you have that deep emotional connection with yourself, and you're able to nurture others by having rituals and interactions that build trust. So is that how it works now?
Yeah, I guess I can pretty much just, I don't know, help them to see, more about where they're at. But I also intuitively see myself through that too. Parts of me that I haven't maybe understood or accepted, and which makes it easier to flow, I guess.
Good one. So we're going to quickly nip through the ones we haven't done so far.
Michael, can I ask you to do Sag? I don't think we've done Sagittarius. My daughter, Gaia, is a Sagittarius, and I actually just posted her chart in the chat because I was like, wow, I've never seen a chart like that where it's just so on one side. There's like nothing complete half of her chart is blank.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, what does that mean?
it's called a bulb chart. It just means that a lot of the energies work on one side. I've never liked it. There's supposed to be an interpretation of that, but it's never fitted, so I don't use it. And
Okay.
that's like you're only living out half of life. Then there's another half of life you haven't got, but it doesn't resonate. So it just means that when you have transits like energies now, they'll tend to go through and they'll go bang, 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 bang. You're in a whole row. So
Right. Okay.
it's quite interesting. Okay. So Sag
Yep.
moon. So the moon wants security and belonging. Sag wants to go out there and have fun. Be free. Be free. Probably run away from security. It's like, I need to have the space, I need to have the free to go out there, to know and maybe expand the consciousness and understand things at a broader level. And then they need to bring that home to benefit the home. The question is, with the Sag moon, are you secure enough to be free and expansive? And when they are, life becomes full of growth, it's meaningful with emotional connections. You're able to nurture yourself and others. And it's a really emotionally optimistic energy, full of humor. Does that make sense?
Yes, sounds very accurate.
Okay. Did we do Pisces? We didn't do Pisces moon, did we? That's an incredible emotional sensitivity where you pick up the impressions around you. There's quite that's the sort of energy of a medium almost, that the veil is very thin, where you can pick up the subtle impressions if somebody's upset or hurt, or you pick up the energy of an animal.
How does that work with, because I've just realized that my eldest son is that. How does that work if they're not willing to look at the spiritual side so much?
Well, it's probably there, but they might be disillusioned because they have this, unconsciously, this thing that was supposed to be one and connected and love each other, but you come down to earth and you get harshness. And also he's got to deal with the other parts of his own nature that might be like that.
Yeah, well, he's a Scorpio, so.
Yeah, so he might have a little bit of darkness in there.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Pisces, if it's not working, it will go into escapism.
Yes, which he
I
does a
don't want
lot.
to deal with it. I don't want to deal with my emotional stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, Pisces needs to do that.
Mm. Yeah, I can definitely relate to that, because he then goes into like gaming, that escapism through gaming and detachment sort of, which is interesting. Thanks.
It's a bit sad.
Mm.
You did Aquarius, Capricorn, Sag, Scorpio. We've got most of them made. Virgo. So Virgo, remember, Virgo wants order, wants to sort things out, clean them up, get them ready. Got the little chastity belt there on there. So there's a sense of security in being prepared and having things in order. Virgo, the moon wants to nurture, wants to care for, and Virgo wants to be a service. So sometimes they want to, it's like this need to be needed. So And also Virgo, you know, like they can worry. You imagine the moon wanting security in that with worry thrown in there. So they need to be secure enough that they can nurture and heal themselves, clean up their own act, and then be a service to others. Does that make sense? Oh, no one's got a Virgo. There's probably someone out there with a Virgo moon. Libra.
Maybe.
Hey? Did I
Maybe.
hear squeak? Maybe.
I've just realized that it's like both my sons, one is its opposite, but they're 15 years apart. So one has a Pisces and the other one is, yeah, but
Is Virgo?
hang on, no, not Pisces. One's Pisces and one is the Scorpio with, oh, whatever it was you just read before.
Virgo? No.
No, not Virgo, the one before that.
Sagittarius?
No. Oh my gosh. Anyway,
Libra.
doesn't matter. It's all a bit
It's all
trying to
over.
do too many.
I think it was with Pisces.
Pisces, that's the one. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ah,
Yes. So interesting that didn't even realize that till this moment that they both got interesting.
that's the moon. So the moon's in its own little sign. So it's like that's a lot of emotion, a lot of feeling. And it can take things very, very personally and get hurt. So the test is, does it need to put the nippers up or withdraw into its hole all the time? Or is it secure enough to come out? Because a Cancer moon, it's like, you know how the moon can be full and out there? Cancer moon's very much like that. It can be full and out there, and then sometimes it needs to withdraw and be very private. But they're definitely family closeness, you know, having close friends, having that emotional security, nurturing yourself and others, really important for a Cancer moon. A Cancer moon without that closeness is, you know, that'd be the saddest thing in the world. So being secure enough to open your heart and your tear ducts without being codependent, because that's a little thing that can happen with that, is that Cancer moon sometimes are afraid of loss and they cling in, they want security. They need to be secure enough in themselves. Anybody know somebody with a Cancer moon?
No.
You probably do, but you don't know yet.
Yeah.
So Gemini moon. So where's your emotions with Gemini moon? In your head? A little bit tricky sometimes, because sometimes there can be a conflict between feeling stuff and thinking, and you can't process your mind, you can't process your emotions in your head. You need to feel things, be with them, and then communicate them. But you could also, you know, write things down while you're processing what you're feeling. Also, if there's some big trauma from the past that can, you know, deep unresolved emotion, and if the Gemini moon's in the head, that'll create that split, the Jekyll and Hyde emotion. And the trick is to not be caught in the head, so you can communicate your true feelings. And you can nurture people through your words. I think we got them all, have we?
1, 2. No,
Yeah.
there's one. We're missing one.
We did Aries. Did we do Taurus?
Yep.
No, we have no. I don't think we did we?
Okay.
No.
Probably not. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So Taurus moon tends to be more stabilized. And it's Taurus moon is generally looking for emotional security and having things, having people, things in their life that are stable, that they own. not always owning people, but they like that consistency. And it's a bit like if there's going to be change, it can be similar to pulling a plant out by its roots. They need time to allow that change. Taurus can be very stable, but emotionally sometimes they can dig their heels in and be stubborn, or emotionally attached to things. If it's really out of balance, it'll turn into things like hoarding. When they are secure, they're an emotional rock, and very emotionally resourceful and strong. Again, of talking to a lot of Taurus moon people, a common thing that comes up is because they're so emotionally strong, people see them that way. This happens with Capricorn moon as well. They see the person as being very strong, so they just load up on them, load up on the bull's shoulders. And
Yes, that definitely resonates.
pun?
That definitely resonates with me. Always holding stuff on my shoulders. And I feel like it's from other people as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So Capricorn, if you're emotionally responsible in that, people can load up on you and sort of, it's like you'll organize it, you'll take care of that. But you don't want to be in that position all the time. It's fine sometimes, but not all the time. So, yeah, Taurus moon, very central. Taurus is central anyway, but you imagine your emotion there. And saying that, sometimes people have gone through negative touch in the past, and they can be the opposite. They'll stay away from that. But once they heal their moon, then they get into sensuality and, things like massage. And so then they own it, and they're a lot more secure when they do own that touch, a positive touch. We covered them all. Yay. Any questions or anything that you'd like to talk about for another few minutes? Oh, wait a minute. We got the last screen. We got prizes happening again. Homework and prizes. So this is your mission if you choose to accept it, to choose 2 people that are close to you and find their sun and moon sign, because tomorrow, we're going to put the sun and the moon together, not with yourself, because you want to it's really important to have a good relationship with your own sun and moon. If you want the world to work better, make sure your sun and moon are in harmony with each other. That's the most important relationship there is. And so we'll look at that, getting the sun and the moon together within yourself. But then we want to look at, because you might have a sun in Gemini, but you've got a partner that's got their moon in Cancer, and we can look at what the energies are doing, how they relate. Now, one of the things with the relationships, I truly believe that there are no bad relationships. There's only bad relating. And I can remember years ago, I had this I had really good friends. They were amazingly good friends. Have been together forever, loved each other dearly. And I did both of their charts, put them side by side. And they had so much conflicting energy in there. And I couldn't believe it. How's this possible? And then I spoke to them and I said, yeah, that's how it is. Sometimes we just go off and all this energy and but we love each other madly while we're doing it. And then it's all over and it's beautiful again. So that's good relating. You just need to find out how if it's not working. So find two people, their sun and their moon signs. Okay, you got that. Post an introduction on the Facebook. If you haven't done that already, that would be great. And so one great person is going to get a mini reading from Michael. Who's that? Oh, that's me. Probably pull out of the hats the person, and then they'll get a mini reading. All right. Any questions or anything you'd like to share? It's so interesting because yesterday when that Saturn was on my IC, I felt so inflexible and, you know, insecure. But understanding it now, it's like it's a weight lifted off. It's, yeah, it's all right. It's good. Just by understanding it. Quite remarkable. Now, probably not. Yeah, let's share this. What I've been doing is quite revolutionary lately. I do people's astrology charts. And have you heard of EMDR? Eye movement desensitization?
Yes.
I just had that the other day, actually, at the
Great.
chiropractor. Yeah.
Great.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
So what I do is I do their chart, and as we find blocks in their chart, we work through them, clear them. So you're not only getting the awareness, but you're getting the healing with it.
Cool.
Pretty neat. I like
That sounds
it.
amazing.
You're doing a lot more of that in the future, I think. Yeah. So if you get a mini reading, we can do a little bit of that if you like.
Ooh.
Sure. Any questions before we go?
Yeah, are we able to print out the course?
Pardon?
Are we able to print out the course, the slideshows?
Oh,
I'll see what more I do.
Leslie will see what she can do.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, folks. And hope to see you tomorrow. Yay!
All right.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks,
See you, everyone.
Michael.
Bye.
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 Turning off. Sharing.
And click the end stone.